The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Penises.
Yes.
Some
here
people
we
have
go.
them. Yeah.
Some people like
Roughly
them.
half.
Yeah, roughly half of the people have them.
And the people who don't have them like them.
They can be tricky little buggers, Shaun.
Not all of them, Sean.
Nathan, well said. They are tricky.
Yeah, there is a Swedish Olympian. He could barely put into words the terrible pain that he felt.
So he's a cross-country skier,
Yes,
yeah?
he was suffering a frozen penis during an event in Finland. He was left fearing for his manhood after participating in the 20-kilometre World Cup event, which inside the Arctic Circle, which is penis freezing territory.
Well, I don't understand how all of the other competitors didn't freeze their penises.
Well, I mean, I suppose some penises aren't really out in the elements because of the size, maybe. Maybe bigger penises are more at risk.
Yeah.
Presumably this is a
that'll be the case.
hands-on event.
I know, okay,
Yeah, but
some
it's only
people might have-
lycra, isn't it?
Through,
really?
through experience, some might have come up with some kind of warmer sock, perhaps,
Sure.
put under as an undergarment, even though
But
we're
this
in
guy's
lycra.
an Olympic.
But some
surely.
people are just more susceptible to the heat and the cold, and that would go for penises.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Well, the singer was singing
Here's
Let
one
It
now.
Go. Maybe he shouldn't have let it go. Maybe the warmth of his hand would have helped.
Yeah, instead of holding the two ski poles, he
that's
holds
right.
one.
Yeah. So
He skis around in circles.
He
that's
was
the problem.
interviewed after the event. He says, I have frozen my penis for real. Damn, I had to lie in there and warm it up for 10 minutes. It hurts
That's
so...
what Sean said he was doing.
He said it hurts so damn much. It's terrible. It's lucky that I'm going to have my second child because it's going to be difficult in the future if I'm going to continue like this.
Yeah, so his wife was
goes
already
on
pregnant.
to
Yeah.
say that because people were asking if he could describe the pain, and he said no. Those who know, they know. But you should get a tip from me. Stay away from it because it's the worst thing you can experience.
Wow,
Well, I mean, we're talking about a part of your body that has a lot of nerve endings.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's part of the issue.
I
Is
suppose-
that
You don't
when
want to
it's-
come in with two hot hands, though, straight up.
No, that's right. You have to warm it up gently.
You have to be slowly.
Yeah.
So think about the worst pains you can experience, and one of them straight away we know across the board is childbirth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
and we know why because it was a human coming out of your mini ha-ha.
Yes.
That's
Kidney stones, they reckon, are pretty bad.
we know all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And we know this because we've heard about it. We never really knew about the world of the pain attached to a frozen penis.
No, I
because
didn't.
no one out there is really doing it.
Or they're not talking about it.
It's taboo. It's been taboo in the
It's been
skiing
taboo
world.
for too long.
But we're giving it a platform.
Exactly.
So, 13, 24, 10.
Have you frozen
your penis? Or your vagina? I'm open
Can
to
you do
either.
that? Probably.
No, we'd like to know.
It's got an Audi.
So this Swede, says it is the worst thing you can experience. So taking away the things that we already know are super painful, like childbirth and kidney stones and all that sort of stuff, what is the worst thing that you can experience, in your opinion? What have you gone through?
Oh, I'd like to hear these.
Because it's good to learn. Because now you
isn't it?
know.
Okay, the worst thing, I remember this so clearly. Ever had a catheter put in when...
Oh, I
I've
have
never.
had
I've
catheter
never.
They
put
aren't
in.
good. You can wake up with them in, so that's no worries at all.
Presumably it's better for a girl than a boy. I don't know.
Yes. So my cousin Steve, he had one in when I went and visited him one day, and my grandfather, old Jack McManus, went and visited him too. When he got up, my grandfather, he tripped over the thing and ripped it out. So then they have to come and put it back in.
Okay, not great.
Do they leave it for half an hour so it's not as tender? It's just been ripped out.
Steve, that's a ripper.
Wow.
on, Grandpa.
Okay, we want to know, in your opinion, what is the worst thing that you can experience?
Doesn't have to be penis related,
No,
although we've
no.
just heard a couple
Two
of
in a
famous
row.
stories.
Yeah.
Let's end with three.
Someone is going to get one of the best things you can experience, a rendezvous Perth Scarborough overnight stay.
Oh,
you can
hello.
check out their Rendezvous Film Club with exclusive club lounge access. You can head to rendezvouspperthscarborough.com.au.
All right, just run us through the worst pain, the worst thing that can actually
Teach
happen
us.
to you. We'll learn together. Laura's in Armidale. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Laura, what
Laura.
is the worst thing one can experience?
A dry socket.
Oh, okay.
me.
Run us through what that is.
That is when you have your tooth extracted and it does not heal properly. So I had one earlier this year, and then I was in and out of the dentist for 3 weeks every second day.
Oh.
It just radiates in your head.
Oh,
So dry socket. Okay, so let's break it down. So you've had a tooth pulled, and
Yes.
and the bit where the tooth was is
Yes.
dry.
Yes,
Explain more.
the clot hasn't formed enough to heal.
Oh, so it's just bleeding
So
continuously.
the nerve canals and stuff
you have medicine packed in the socket.
Yep.
And it just has to keep being refilled until your body can heal it.
Oh, so your body's not healing it quick enough.
So run us through what the pain was like.
Well, I've had 2 children, both C-sections, and it is nothing in comparison to a dry socket.
Yeah, right.
Laura, anything to do with your teeth?
Yes.
I've never heard of
Relentless
dry socket.
pain.
No, I thought it was something else.
I had it in early this year, and then I had to have another one in July, and I got it again.
Oh, what are the odds?
So
She's got some dry sockets now.
tooth extraction is not for you, Laura, by the sounds of it.
So you want a wet socket?
Yes, damp.
Well,
No,
I just had
Damp,
my
a
third tooth extracted.
moist socket, yes?
I just had my third tooth extracted 2 weeks ago, and this time I avoided it.
Okay, well done.
What's the key? Did you do any training
you're evolving.
before?
It's called pain med.
Pain meds, okay,
God.
all right.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Let's go to Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how you going, guys?
Good. All right.
Michelle.
The worst pain one can experience. What is it?
Oh, wow. Okay. So almost 2 years ago now, a group of friends and I were going for a run along the coast one early morning before summer. And it was quite hot by the time we finished, so a couple of us thought we'll go for a quick cool-off in the ocean, and this was up at Quinns Beach, and I don't like cold, so I have to run in. That's the only way I can get into the ocean.
Yeah.
I stepped on something, I thought, that was a bit slimy, it was a bit weird, I wonder what that was. And then the next second I felt the worst intense pain I've ever felt, and I dropped like a sack of potatoes. And it ended up that I had stepped on a cobbler fish. And and the spike of the cobbler fish had gone through my foot, through my Achilles tendon.
Michelle, cobblers are the worst, man. Those spikes are unbelievable.
When you looked at your foot, you could see the spike sticking out of your Achilles.
No, the spike, I couldn't see the fish, I couldn't see the spike or anything. It was just blood coming out of it, and
Yes.
I was just in immense pain. So when I got to the hospital and told them the story, they asked me which beach I was at, and it was Quinns Beach. And then they said, it was either a cobbler or a stingray. They thought cobblers,
Yeah, so the cobblers, they have like a little bit of poison or something that goes into you. Michelle, is that right?
They sure do, yeah. That's what causes the pain. So I've had 2 children. One was a C-section and one was a natural birth without pain relief, and this was the most intense pain I've ever been in.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, and the only thing that gives you relief is to put your foot in hot water, as hot as you can stand it, because the hot water draws the poison out.
Yeah, that's true.
When it was through your Achilles, was it stuck? Was it stuck in there, or it went through and then came back out? What was it?
No, it must have gone in and come straight back out.
God.
So I ended up going to hospital, and once they did scans and that, I went into theatre so they could clean any debris and sand out. But it's gone through my Achilles, so I had to have internal stitches in my Achilles tendon.
And how long does that pain last for, like that, the poison nerve pain?
Hours and hours and hours and hours. And you know, when you go to hospital, they start you off, have you had anything for it? I'm like, no, I've come straight from the ocean. So they give you Panadol. I'm like,
Panadol's not
Hit me with a baseball bat.
Not even Panadol Rapid.
I need everything you've got. Hook me up.
I don't even understand that. Panadol or Panadol Rapid? You know, what's the go there?
I want pain relief, but slowly.
Yeah,
I know. Panadol,
Who wants that?
All right, let's go. Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, guys.
All right,
All right,
Lisa.
Lisa, what's the worst pain you've experienced?
It was New Year's Eve a couple of years ago, playing with my cousins, and my cousin, for whatever reason, decided that we were going to play darts, and he did like a pirouette before he threw his dart, and it landed straight in my eye, as deep as it would go. Went out to the parents and said, I think I need some help. And my mum passed out, my sister passed out.
And you go in bullseye! Yeah.
Sorry.
So they were on the floor and everyone else was more concerned about them. Meanwhile, I've got like this burning hole in my eye. And they're trying to work out how they're going to get me to the hospital because they've all had drinks and,
Yes.
you know, the kid's got a dart in its eye.
Well, you just drive. You just be like,
call an ambulance.
No, Sean,
I don't know. You just be like, oh my God.
You don't just
You've got to get somebody
if
there.
only there was a service that could convey you from your house to your
you'd
hospital.
be panicking, guys.
So ambulance.
So, Lisa, was the dart still stuck in the eye at the time?
Yeah, they did. I ended up going by ambulance with my sister, who was still like having a flying heart rate from passing out because she didn't want to be left out the show.
Yes.
And also, they had to do where they put all the drops in and make sure there was no hole. Like, there was a hole left in my eye. I still got that.
Did you lose vision?
No, I didn't. They did they stitched in, that was excruciating too. They reckon you don't feel it, you do, as a kid too. They stitch a cover over the top of it until it's healed enough.
Like
to
a
be
patch.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little patch. And then it missed all the optic nerves. How on earth, they don't know, because it was like he threw it hard enough that it went, the whole tip was stuck in my eyeball.
Yeah.
And so when you're driving, did you have to hold the dart so it didn't wobble when you're driving?
The ambulance officer secured it with a bandage and to the back around of my head.
Oh.
Lisa, how did you not pull it out once it had, okay, it's hit you in the thing, and I was kind of with Nathan, you're holding it later on, but how did you not just rip it out at the time? Did you know just not to touch it, or?
No, I just knew that it was already, the burn was so real. I thought, oh, my God, if I pull it out, and I was more concerned that if I pulled it out, that only the end had come off.
Yeah.
And then I'd be left with just the metal in my eye and have to have my whole eyeball.
Good instinct. Good instinct, Lisa.
Come out, Lisa? Once it was taken out when you're in hospital, does it just?
It did come out. So they put numbing agent in the corner of the eye, which was every bit as bad as the pain of the dart going in. And I still felt it because there's just no way to numb all those areas there. So, never again. I've never touched a dartboard again in my life.
No, that's or a dart. That's good policy.
Wow.
Doesn't smoke darts, nothing. Anything to do with darts.
Nothing at all.
Sean,
great stories,
they
everybody.
Were all very painful
Cracking
things,
tales.
and I don't want to experience any of them.
No.
We had the dry socket, a tooth thing. We had the cobbler fish through an Achilles, and we just had that situation.
A dart and an eye.
Everyone deserves an overnight stay at Rendezvous Scarborough for sure. You can check out the Rendezvous Film Club with exclusive club lounge access. Head to rendezvouspScarborough.com.au. I'll give it to you, Lisa. That was horrendous. Also, Michelle, you're great. And Laura, absolutely.
But they get nothing.
Sorry
but
about
Lisa
that, guys.
Scores it, okay? Just to be clear?
Yes.
All right.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The Premier, Roger Cook, has had first-hand experience of the traffic this morning.
Good morning.
Hello,
Hi, Cookie.
welcome.
Yeah, a good hour commute from Kwinana this morning. The traffic's horrible.
Isn't there a Premier siren that you can pop on?
That's a good idea.
But don't you think, I'm the Premier, I've got stuff to do. Get out of my way.
Yeah, a little police escort or something
Or
like
maybe
that.
we know that you live within walking distance of the train station.
Why don't you catch the
jump on the train?
Because the public transport here in Perth, I don't know if you know, is amazing.
I used to catch the train to Parliament all the time,
Yes.
but apparently it's a little bit more difficult nowadays.
Because
okay. You gotta
you've
have
got
security and
your
stuff.
entourage.
Security, the entourage, but also the paperwork I drag around with me.
Yeah.
So
And your makeup girl that you take with you everywhere. She's out there.
What about your push bike too, Roger? You got a thang dangled, you've got one that's top notch.
Yeah, I do. I've got a great
two
bike. I
pedals
love
and
it.
you'd be here.
Yeah, no, and I used to ride in quite a bit as well, but yeah, people have got views about that nowadays as well.
As a cyclist, are you always looking to buy another bike?
Oh my God, yes. I think that's the nature of it, isn't it? You know,
I know. One of my friends told me
you're
this.
never happy. You want that next flash bike.
So one of my friends told me the equation is the number of bikes that you need is N+1, where N is the number of bikes you currently own.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's this actual phenomenon called bike porn, where cyclists, flick through, looking at catalogues, just loving it, or going to the bike shop.
Yeah. Getting
Just
off
to
on the
check it out.
spokes.
Yeah.
You just rub up against it.
This is taking a turn.
Bit of CRC. Never does anyone astray.
Now, Mr. Premier, we've seen you cruising around the world, as has the Prime Minister in recent times, but you've been able to go to Japan and China, trying to make sure that everybody knows the state's open for trade and also tourism.
Yeah, absolutely. And China's really important. We are the biggest. We represent over half of the nation's trade to China. So, so we matter when we go over there. It's important to get there, build those relationships, talk to the companies that invest so many billions of dollars in WA. So we went, so we've done Japan, we'll talk to a lot of the investment houses there, but also talking in China, just continuing to build those relationships, making sure that they know that WA is open for business.
Well, they know because they can hear everything we do. So here's the question as a political thing. If they own everything and they, we all know they're coming for us. How do you stay? How do you stay with an open mind to be able to I don't know, have a great relationship, but also know that
If
they're
you can
doing
trust it, you can
things
trust
that
it.
you're not too sure about.
Yeah, well, so it's a balance, isn't it? You want to have foreign investment in WA because that helps us grow our economy, but it has to be balanced out with other considerations. And the geopolitical issues which confront our whole region at the moment can't be ignored. So we have to make sure we go in with, a cautious, open mind, making sure that where we can do business we do, but where we have to differ and protect our own sovereign or security interests, we have to put our foot down.
When you went to Japan, and of course you've got to travel with an entourage, do you get like a really nice palatial room and the guys your security get put in a capsule? What is capsule? At
the side of the hotel,
like a pigeonhole?
Look, I don't pick the hotels. They're usually okay.
Yep.
But my security friends don't join us overseas.
Oh, don't they?
Well, they're state police. You can't.
Oh, you can't take them out of the
So
state.
then what happens over there?
So
then?
they can't go out of Hazard County, remember?
yeah.
That's right. We know it, mate.
They're like flockers that can't leave Rottnest, right? Yeah, they can never go back.
There's protocols where we share those responsibilities.
Did you do the Mario Kart tour like everybody else does? And do you get to do any fun things?
Wish we could have done that. No, Japan was just rock solid, back-to-back meetings. We were there for Halloween. So in Tokyo, it goes off on Halloween. Do you reckon we got out there to see?
You didn't get to see anything.
No.
Oh,
I had a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Right. So
hang on. Nathan has a political question.
I've got a political question.
Yes.
Here we go.
I know. We can't believe it either.
We were talking about how we are getting towards being a cashless society, right? And then we're talking about the realities of being a cashless society and what happened with, Optus the other week, and
Medibank
no one could pay or buy anything. But then we're thinking about the fact that when you go out, the reason why we're a cashless society is because we've got our cards on our phones, and it's an easy way to pay. The interesting thing is we still have to carry around a physical license. Why is that? Here in WA, why don't we have a digital license? It makes no sense.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work around digitising, not just that aspect of government, but all aspects of government. Because we know in the future it's not going to be paper-based, it's not going to be card-based, it's going to be, we're going to, lean on the internet of everything and make sure that we have a much more digital approach to government services. Driver's licences are one of those. We're working on that.
How long? Because Melbourne's already got it. And think about it. You're going to save money on physical cards making that. So there'll be money saved. It's just an image. Literally.
Well, so there's a whole range of privacy issues that you have to take account of. So as you know, as we live in a more digital society, we become more vulnerable for cyber attacks. And as we saw with Optus, a lot of people's lives were frozen because they depended upon Optus continuing to work. So we need to make sure that we take these steps carefully. We're learning from what's happening in other states, which is a good thing. But it won't be too much longer. We'll move to a digital licence regime as well.
Give us a time period.
No, I can't.
Because I have to renew my licence just after Christmas. Will I still have to do that, or can I?
No, you can still use that photo from 1985.
Well, the hair's the same.
I look so young.
Hey, Roger, do you carry around cash? We were talking about yesterday, and Nathan brings it up again, the cashless society. They reckon it's only 3 years away from going. 15% of people at the moment use cash. Everyone else is...
Yeah, what do you do? Roger's got a big wad with a lucky bag.
No, look, I carry $5 notes.
How many?
Yeah, because you might say this is a bit of a suck job, but if I see buskers... the people that I want to assist, I'd love to give them some cash. I don't carry a lot of cash. None of us do.
No.
So I make sure I have about 3 or 4 $5 notes just so I can drop it into a hat.
That's nice.
I do feel really bad sometimes when I'm walking past, people doing charity work or selling the big issue and they're asking for money and then you don't,
that's right.
You
big issue nowadays. A lot of them do have the little swipe. But if you're someone that's down on your luck on the streets and you're trying to get a bit of support,
you don't have FPOS facilities.
You don't have FPOS facilities, so I make sure I always carry some $5 notes just so I can.
Hey Roger, when I went to Bankwest up the road one day, I walked past this man on a bench and he looked pretty down and out. And I went into the bank, and then when I was in there getting some money out, I actually said to them, "Oh, can you give me a few $5 notes as well? $20 worth." And I came up with 4 5s, and I went and stopped to the guy and I said, "Oh, hey mate, here you go." And I handed him $5, and he said, "I'm not homeless. I'm waiting for my wife."
Took the 20 though. He took it.
I'd take the 20.
I was mortified.
You've taken off Nathan.
Yeah, I would have taken the dollars.
For sure.
Roger, we're gearing up for Christmas, obviously. For us, it's closer than anybody else because we finish work very shortly.
I noticed. Jeez, how do you get off work so early?
Because we work the hardest.
Yeah, of course you do.
How do you operate over that summer Christmassy period?
Well, as you know, I've been until this year, I was the deputy, right?
Yeah.
So the deputy always had to work over Christmas because that's when the Premier goes on holiday.
So now you're the big
this
dog.
year,
You
thank you
get a
very
holiday.
much. I'm having holidays over Christmas.
Oh,
New Year
Carly
period.
must be wrapped.
Oh, she's lovely.
Where are we going? Anywhere fun?
Well, no, we were talking about going to Roto, but Roto's really expensive and
Yeah, it is.
chock-a-block at that time.
Yeah.
We might just go down south for a few
You're
days.
complaining about the expense of Roto. Okay, keep going.
We'll be down. You're going to be down.
Yeah.
We'll be down south.
Where are you
Sean,
going?
I'm going to
Yeah, yeah.
Bustleton.
Yeah, I'll
Sean's
be in
going to
Dunsborough.
be Dunsborough.
We usually go down to Baileyup.
Lovely.
Valley.
I
Yeah,
like
you've
how
got
you just
property
quick,
there.
Yeah.
you know, chose a completely different place.
If you're
He
in
didn't want to catch up,
Bustleton,
did he?
I can be elsewhere.
He goes, yeah, we're going down south. We'll be going to Sydney. Now that we've heard that.
So when I know that you had to cut your Japanese trip short to come back because of the bushfires.
Yeah.
So if something like that happens again across the summer, then the holiday's over and you're back to work, right?
That's the reality
Yeah,
of being in
it
politics.
is, isn't it?
It's, and as you know, in summer we are more prone to bushfires.
Yeah.
We do have cyclonic events up in the north. You have to be on call 24 hours a day, ready to come back in if that's what's required.
Do you still watch the news when you're on holidays?
Look, you do, but you watch it out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
You just keep an eye on it. You don't want to get too invested.
Now, I know that you're new to the world of being Premier, but every year Mark McGowan got us a special present for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right, famously.
Right.
Yeah, so what
have
have
you
you got for us?
chosen?
I'm seeing Mark today. I'll
us?
just verify that
Oh,
one.
no, he's busy. He's got no time to discuss things from the past.
No, that's right. But he was very generous.
Very
Take our
generous.
word for it.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we better go large then. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
go
that's
large.
good. I like it.
And just finally, the $200 towards the electricity bill. I know there was a $200 beforehand. That's very helpful before Christmas.
Cost of living is a key issue in the community at the
Cosy
moment.
lives, as we call it now.
In WA, the economy is going well. A lot of people have got jobs, but there are people who are still doing it tough. So our cost of living measures are a really important part of making sure that we can just assist those who are doing it tough at the moment. And $200 at this time of the year, I was talking to a punter on the weekend, she said, I'd much rather give that to my kids by way of Christmas presents than give it to Synergy. So and I think that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you. We
All right.
wish you all the best for your hopefully incident-free holiday and that you actually do get to have some time off.
For sure.
And I cannot wait until we get digital licenses brought in within 12 months, like you promised.
It was a promise. We heard it. Thank you, Premier.
Have a great Christmas, guys.
Can't wait
Good
for our
on you.
present.
Thanks,
It's going to be
Roger.
great.
Oh, my
Massive.
God, huge.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Oh, let's play the music. Squid Game. During the pandemic, we were all locked in our homes and we all watched, well, except for Natalie,
Yeah, nearly all.
Squid Game. And the thing is, I watched it with the terrible dubbing, and a lot of people had to read it. But without that time, none of us really, I don't think the
Yeah,
world
would you have?
collectively, no, not in a million years would have watched it.
No, 100%, Nathan. It was one of those shows when you start off watching it, you're looking at yourself going, why am I watching this? And
Yeah.
eventually you got into it
You're
so
hooked
much
in.
more, you were
Yeah.
hooked.
Well, so when Squid Game: The Challenge, which is a reality show based off of the series, came out, I went, "Oh my god, this is going to be a pile of rubbish." It is not. It is absolutely brilliant. Adrian, who is here with us right now, hi, Adrian.
Hey, hello guys.
Adrian is contestant number 270 in this, and
456.
He loves
yeah?
green overalls.
competing for how much money? What's the total again?
4.56 million USD, mind you. So what's that, like
Yeah.
7.5 million Aussie?
yeah.
Insane. The biggest prize giveaway ever on reality TV.
Amazing.
Yeah, Adrian, it was very interesting to see how much it was replicated of what we've seen in Squid Game.
Other than the death bit.
The big ball of money
Yeah,
that
I checked
comes
my
down.
contract closely for that, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, but some people now were acting like they were literally dead
Yeah.
when they started
Yeah.
the game. The other thing that I was really interested in seeing how the bunk situation worked.
The bunks room
Because
was
what we saw in
amazing.
Squid Game, for those who haven't seen it, there's a big room where they all sleep in, and there's like 4 stories of bunks. So
like 10 stories.
how was it?
It was unbelievable. The best way I can put it is walking into that dorm, it was like a mix of like high school camp and prison.
Yeah.
Like you're in there and you've got no phones, you can't see daylight, you don't know what time it is. We'd
Yeah.
ask the producers what time it was, they wouldn't
Yes.
tell us. But it was great. Like it was actually really fun. Didn't eat much, didn't sleep much, but we had so much fun just talking. You're just talking to people all day.
And
it
is
was
there
actually
a
really good.
lot of downtime? Like, are you getting bored, or is it pretty full on, like going from challenge to challenge?
Is it a challenge a day? What is it?
So okay, the way that it was up until I got out, no spoilers,
No
was
millions.
it was like game day dorm day, game day, dorm day. So you have a whole day.
So that's a lot of downtime.
A lot of downtime, but there were little tests in the dorm.
Like when you got taken to the kitchen and all that sort of
the
stuff.
chores, that kind of stuff. That was all happening on those days off, and then there was game day.
Hey, it's so funny. My dad, I told him about this, and I said, Dad, you got to watch it. And then, because I watched the first series, and I go, no worries. So I said, Dad's watched the first episode the other day, and he rang me and he goes, the death scenes aren't as realistic as they were in the movie.
That's weird. That's weird, Brian.
What do you mean? He goes, I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, the blood is black. Why is it not blood coloured? And I said, what are you talking about? And then anyway, he didn't realise it was a reality show. He thought it was actually the sequel to Squid Game.
Wow.
Because of how close it is to the actual thing.
The sets were unbelievable. I mean, like the biggest scale you've ever seen. Like just that red light, green light was enormous.
Yeah.
Dorms, it was just next level. The amount of money they must have pumped into this, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was getting me, though, is the Americans. There's so many that are in there. The overacting, right? So I know there's 4.56 million, is that what it was?
Yes, yeah.
I know there was that much amount of money on the line, but the crying and then the real life dying on the ground, I was like,
my favourite
Like they're
is
going
the
to be
dying.
discovered as actors or something.
tell us to do
shot,
that.
mate. It's a die pack.
You didn't though.
No, I went out with a bit of dignity.
Didn't. Absolutely not.
They told us to do that. They were like, when that goes off, and people think it's a paintball, it's like a vest called a squib, and it just pops. When that goes off, they're like...
Squib game.
Squib game, yes. That's our now group chat with all the players, actually. It would pop, and then you would need to, like, dramatically, fall over and die.
Okay.
Yes, but, Americans too.
The thing about the show is, as Survivor, you have to make alliances and all that sort of stuff. But this show is so unpredictable because alliances and that mean nothing. You can just get wiped out by a challenge that you didn't see coming, like you were.
Exactly.
Because you did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And you were in a boat with 432, which was a very... He was a very contentious player to other people. Everyone thought he was very up himself in that. What did you think of 432?
Okay, so I didn't really like him too much at the start. Just being Aussies, we're very humble people, and when you hear someone just so brash, I'm going to win this man, Jesus wants me to win, it's very confronting, you know?
Jesus has got other things on his hands. He is not focused on
he did watch Squid Game.
Yeah, he took the time, so you should too.
Seriously.
No, at the start I was like, I don't really like this guy, I'm not a big fan. But then over time, he kind of grew on me a little bit, and I chose that two-man boat first. I was like, I want this, it's a good strategic advantage.
So this is like a game of Battleship. A real-life game of Battleship.
Yes, real-life game Battleship, which we have to call warships, apparently.
Yeah.
But, I chose that, and then he got on the boat with me, and I was like, okay, he's a strategic thinker. I know what he's trying to do, because that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And then, it also, on my end, it kind of helps to be next to the guy who's the main character. That was also part of it too.
Yeah.
But bit by bit, I actually started to kind of respect him a bit more.
Oh, that's nice.
We got along.
Well, the girls that represented you were terrible because they didn't have the strategy, and that ended up being terrible for you.
I was the only one in our group who didn't want our captain to be the captain. There was two, the captain and the lieutenant. The captain was full of confidence. The other one was full of competence.
Yeah,
she had played it more. I was like, go for her.
Yeah.
But the captain was like, oh, yeah, I've got this, I can do it. I was like, no, it's a bad sign.
Yeah.
You want confidence.
Most definitely, Adrian.
I want to know the actual realities of the setup of this whole situation because we see all the amazing sets. We see the dorm room and we see, all the challenge areas and stuff. When you walk out of the dorm room, right, so when you're taken out of the door, what is there? Is it just like a big factory and it's just like, like behind a set? Or is it? Yes.
So this was filmed at the Wharf Studios in London.
Okay.
And it's like a bunch, it's probably like 4 or 5 different enormous sheds.
Yes.
The dorm was one shed.
Yep.
And then we would walk out into just, like you said, like a factory kind of backstage.
Yeah.
And then they would lead us through this rabbit warren of studios to the next set. And then to the next one. And the rainbow stairs were in one of them. It wasn't really how we got from one to the other.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. The scale of it was enormous.
So one of the things we see is that the same games are played as Squid Game. So did you, before you went over and partake in this, practice any of this stuff? Can you?
I did.
Try to lick a needle and cut out a shape of an umbrella out of the honeycomb cookie.
You meant to lick the cookie, not the needle, by the way. It hurts to do it that way. Yes, I did, actually, because we were in hotel quarantine for 5 days beforehand, because if anyone gets COVID, the whole production's off.
Yes.
So there I am in the hotel, like, doing my, stance, like, my walk and pause, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was doing the duck G. I actually brought a couple for you here.
Yeah.
These bad boys here.
Oh, that's the game short.
So this is the little paper...
Oh, the paper game.
That you throw and flip. So I'm practicing that. Here we go.
Oh, no.
He's practicing. He's trying to do it right now.
On the ground.
Yeah! There we go.
done.
Very nice. Player 457 pass.
Can I ask what the process was to get selected in the first place? How did that come about?
They contacted me. Yeah, I had no idea this was on. But it was like, just because I do Instagram and I make a lot of Aussie kind of comedy, so I think I might have been a good representation of our country.
In the movie, that's how the Squid Game happens. They contact you.
Yeah, exactly. I was just massively in debt, and they're like, this guy needs the money.
And how did they pick you up? Because we did see at the start of the series that it was, it was a bit cryptic in that way. Just
that was
car pulls up out of nowhere, but it wasn't like that, clearly.
Well, actually, they did. They organised a little chauffeur to the airport, which was quite nice.
Oh, look at you guys.
Well, anyway, everyone should watch it. It is a Netflix Squid Game, the Challenge reality series. So good. The first 5 episodes are out. When do you know when the next 5 episodes? The next episodes are going
Today.
4 episodes will drop today.
No.
Swear to God.
Oh, that's Nathan's take on. He was going to watch one about the vindictive
4 p.m.
cattle, but 4 p.m. Adrian, contestant 270, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. Cheers.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.